Well, this is the old guy here, and here to talk about Still River. Still River had one AM radio station, but just before things went FM, for the about 1966, 58, 9, 60, and didn't know about FM. And I went across the street to a barber to get my hair cut, and he had what was called a hi-fi system. This was a big console speakers that Klipsch on it, and it had this big amplifier on the top, and another thing called the preamp with dials on it, and another thing called the radio tuner. And on the radio tuner there was the FM band, and I would go in to get my hair cut, and he'd be playing this jazz, and it sounded so beautiful on these big old speakers. And I'm going, what is that? I've never heard a record player sound so good. It's not a record player, it's a hi-fi system, and I'm listening to FM radio, and that intrigued me. And shortly thereafter, radios came out with an FM band on it, and there was mostly classical music, and all you had was that and some jazz, and you had all the AM stuff on the AM channel with the pop music, rock and roll, and everything. But then there would be these stations that would come on in the evening, and it would be very unusual, and they would play very different music, and station would sound like this. Hi, this is Elwood, and this is Night Watch. We're going to be playing a little music for you to toke up on. Little Vanilla Fudge, and then some Tangerine Dream, and then we'll do a little psychedelic banana for you. So stay cool. Dig it, man. And they would play this music. It was called psychedelic music, but some of it wasn't. Some of it had blues in it. Some of it had different types of stuff in it. But it intrigued me because they would play music we normally hear. Some of this music sounded very good, and it was very different. Way before the term alternative came around. But you wouldn't hear any of this, except for maybe one or two on would make it to the AM radio band. So years later in college, I was on the college radio station, and it was FM, and everybody, except for a few radio wannabes that were going to make it their career, did the, FM radio shtick, which was using the nice deep voice, speaking really slow and stony like you were a stoner. So I was on one night, and I was on the evening show, usually when nobody else wanted to be on because they wanted to be out partying or whatever, Friday nights from 6 to like 11, and or Saturdays from like 5 to 11, and there wasn't a real late night yet. Sometimes I was the only one in the studio and in the station, and I had to lock up and shut it down because it was college. And well, one night I was playing music, and occasionally you would get phone calls. And people could call and make requests. And, I would play like whole sides of Yes albums and things like that. And those long songs were good. If you had to go to the bathroom or wanted to run out for a coffee, you had to run downstairs to the cafeteria, get a coffee, and run back up. And you had enough time to do that. Or run over to the college weather station and pick up the teletype weather report or the news. If you did news or anything like that, I didn't. And the phone rings, and this guy answers the phone, and he sounded really stoned. And he basically says, "Man, what kind of stuff are you playing? This is the worst stuff I ever heard. Why don't you play some Black Sabbath or Molly Hatchet or something good, I mean, this is bad for my head, what you're playing." I said, "Okay, I'll see what I can do." So I just put the phone down and shook it off as another stoner. And so I had to go get a coffee. So I put on a side, an Allman Brothers jam or something. They did all 10-minute or whole side jams, like on Eat a Peach album or something. I put that on, and I went downstairs and got a coffee. And I went to the men's room, and I came out, and I ran into somebody that I had to speak to for a minute. And we got talking about some deals we had going on. Not drug deals, but I was selling a guitar or something. And I ran back upstairs, and I saw the needle on the end of the album going chick, 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 chick. And then, oh my God, dead ear. So I took it off and I put another side on. And the phone rings. And it's the same stoner. He goes, "Hey man, that was some great stuff you were playing. I mean, what was that you were playing, like, right after that Allman Brothers jam? I mean, it was really great." And I just shook my head. I said, "Oh, I'm glad you liked it." I put the phone down and I laughed to myself. FM radio, Still River.